Before leaving the house to go on a blind date, my mother looked at the baggy hoodie I was wearing with a disgusted expression. "What kind of clothes are you wearing? You don't know how to dress up. Do people still feel anything when they see you dressed like this?" She forced me to change into a slightly tight shirt, then suddenly ripped my glasses off my face. "What are you wearing glasses for? What if people think you're very nearsighted and give birth to a sick child?" I reflexively hunched my shoulders and softly objected, "I can't see the road clearly without glasses." My mother snorted, "Don't lie, you're nearsighted with 3 diopters, can't you see the road? You're deliberately ruining this blind date, right? Let me tell you, that guy's conditions are extremely good, there are so many people fighting over him. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me." I was about to say that I was more than 2 diopters astigmatic, seeing everything in double vision. But I thought better of it and decided not to. Once my mother made up her mind, no one could change her mind. She only believed in what she thought was right. I left home with a blurry vision. Because I couldn't see the bus number clearly, I missed the bus. When I arrived at the coffee shop in the center, I was already 10 minutes late for the appointment. I rushed inside, squinting to find the man in the white shirt. By the window, there was a man in a white shirt looking up at me. It must be him? I hurried over, my face full of guilt. "Sorry, I'm a little late." The man paused. "You are?" "I am Rosalind Blanche." "Rosalind Blanche?" He chuckled, his tone a little strange. "I am Eric Benedict." His voice was deep, very pleasant to listen to. Although I couldn't see his face clearly, I could still see that he was very handsome, tall, broad-shouldered, fair-skinned, with thick hair. He also had a pleasant woody perfume on him. I shyly lowered my head. Mom was right, someone like him with good conditions and outstanding looks, how could he pay attention to an ordinary girl like me? Sure enough, I had only sat down for a few minutes when he received a phone call. "Sorry, I have something urgent to take care of. Can you wait here for me for a moment? I'll be right back." After saying that, he hurriedly walked out of the shop. I smiled bitterly. This excuse was too clumsy. It was probably just a fake alarm as an excuse to retreat. Moreover, he didn't even ask for my phone number or contact me, so it was obvious that he wasn't interested, but I didn't expect much. I knew I wasn't worthy of him. The phone rang, it was my mother calling. I picked up the phone and was scolded like a bucket of water. "Rosa, where have you been? He's been waiting for you for 20 minutes, you know." I quickly explained, "I've met him, he probably doesn't like me, so he left." My mother raised her voice and became more harsh. "What nonsense are you talking about? He said he was still waiting, and he said he hasn't seen you yet." I stopped. There are 2 coffee shops here, located next to each other. Because I was in a hurry and couldn't see clearly, maybe I went to the wrong one? So the man just now didn't seem to be my blind date? After hanging up the phone, I quickly ran to the next shop. I met the right person my mother arranged for me to date. Wearing glasses, round face, slightly bald, not looking like a handsome guy. I was too late, he was annoyed. "I work for the government, if your time is not on time, it's not acceptable." I hurriedly said, "I'm sorry." "Okay, I'll let it go this time, men should be a little polite." I didn't know what to say. This person was found by my mother herself. She was afraid that I would say the wrong thing and make him unhappy. So she made friends with him, talked for a few days, and when she was okay, she pushed me out to meet. He picked up the phone. "Let's be friends, your mother has already told me your conditions, I'm quite satisfied with your appearance." Then he sneered and said, "Your breasts are really big, like a dairy cow. Your children won't have to worry about not having enough milk in the future." While speaking, he used his hand to draw a circle around my chest. My face turned red. "Are you crazy?" Then he left in anger. When I got home, I faced my mother's wrath. "Rosa, he said he liked you, and you ran away? Do you want to kill me? A girl who's over 25 is almost 30, do you still want to get married?" I bravely argued, "That guy is a pervert, who would say someone else's breasts are as big as a dairy cow's the first time they met. I thought my mother would understand. When I was just entering puberty, she taught me that girls with big breasts were shameful and had to hide them. She made me stay away from boys who often looked at my breasts. So I got used to bending over, wearing loose clothes, hiding my breasts. Unexpectedly, my mother laughed coldly. He was joking, but you took it seriously. No wonder you don't have any friends. Moreover, women's breasts are for their husbands and children to suckle. If it weren't for this, how could that civil servant like you? I was so angry that I didn't bother to say anything more, and went into my room and closed the door. My mother still wouldn't let me go. Rosa, what I said is true. In this world, only I am truly kind to you. Women are only young for a few years. Stop being picky. You're not some fairy. This guy is worthy of you. I put on my headphones in frustration and scrolled through my phone. I knew my mother loved me. It's just that when it came to love, she became difficult to understand and spoke indiscriminately. She tried to force me to get married quickly. When I was in school, she forbade me from talking to boys. Just a few years out of college and they forced me to date, considering ugly guys as good guys. Even though I'm not a fairy, don't I deserve a normal man? I sighed. Accidentally clicked on an ad. The Moon Plastic Surgery Hospital. I was about to turn it off, but these 4 words made me stop: breast reduction surgery. I looked down at my troublesome breasts. The mocking words from school, the rude words of the guy I dated, and the barrel-like body in a hoodie appeared in my mind. Obviously a normal girl, but always attracted attention because of these breasts. Making me feel embarrassed and self-conscious to the point of not daring to raise my head. After hesitating for a moment, I called the consultation number. The next day was Sunday. I lied to my mother and went out. Coincidentally, this hospital was located opposite the coffee shop from yesterday. Sitting in the examination room, I was nervous. The nurse leading the way poured me a glass of water. Please wait a moment, Dr. Benedict will come to examine you soon. Seeing me tense, she comforted me. Dr. Benedict is very good. I guarantee that the correction will be beautiful. No need. Just make it smaller. A moment later, there were footsteps outside the door. A guy about 1m85 tall, wearing a white blouse, walked in. I was stunned. So handsome, wearing a blouse like a designer shirt. When he saw me, his footsteps stopped slightly, a little surprised. I stood up shyly, my face red. It was the first time such a handsome man stared at me, but his gaze was a bit strange. Dr. Benedict, I came to consult, breast reduction surgery. I said the last few words as softly as a mosquito. Dr. Benedict seemed to have just woken up, smiling and sitting down opposite me. I was momentarily stunned, his smile was so beautiful. I wish all my blind date partners were as handsome as this. Dr. Benedict flipped through the nurse's record and asked, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Huh? I was surprised. What does it have to do with surgery? Perhaps it was an illusion. The doctor's face was a bit embarrassed. Just asking, do you want to reduce to a cup A? I nodded, my voice as soft as a mosquito. Yes, I don't have a boyfriend. Reducing to a flat chest is even better. I really admire girls with small breasts who look good in everything. As for me, if I wear too much, I look fat. If I wear too little, I am considered revealing. The doctor pondered, what size do you wear now? My face was red. About E. I'm not sure. I bought all my bras online, the same size but sometimes tight and sometimes loose. The doctor blinked his phoenix eyes. Can I measure it again? I felt hot from head to neck. I couldn't believe my ears. Can I change to a female doctor? The doctor gently said, breast reduction surgery is level 4, high risk. If not done well it can easily damage the mammary glands. I don't feel comfortable entrusting it to someone else. I was scared, thinking to myself, doctors don't differentiate between men and women. I nodded in agreement. He went out and called a nurse in. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that there weren't just 2 people. The doctor pulled the curtain in the examination room, signaling me to come in. There's a camera over there. this is the part where the camera can't record. I was shaking so much that my legs were unsteady. I walked in with small steps. The nurse stood outside the curtain, not following in. A deep male voice in my ear, "Take off your shirt, unzip your bra." I closed my eyes and did as I was told. My chest suddenly felt a little cold. The doctor held a ruler and a tape measure, measuring my chest. My heart was pounding, and I felt like I was suffocating. When he measured my chest, his fingers inevitably touched my skin. It felt like an electric shock, spreading from my toes to the top of my head. I turned away in embarrassment. But through his eyes, I could only see serious concentration. A few short minutes felt like a century. Finally, he said, "Get dressed." I hurriedly put on my shirt, but I couldn't fasten my bra. He turned his back to pack his things, hesitantly asking, "Do you need a nurse to help?" I shook my head, "No. No need, just help me a little." As soon as I finished speaking, I saw him stop and froze. I bit my lip, wanting to bang my head against the wall. I am such a useless person, I can't do anything. How could I say what I think? It's over, a handsome man like Dr. Benedict, how can he bear this? He will chase me away. I broke out in a cold sweat, but the bra buckle refused to listen. The warm woody scent suddenly became stronger. Dr. Benedict's face was right in front of my eyes. His two arms gently wrapped around me, his hands reached behind my back, and the bra buckle immediately opened. His hot breath brushed past my ears. My whole body was numb. I didn't dare to move. Afraid that the man in front of me would hear my heart pounding like thunder. His face remained calm, politely stepping back. "Done, let's go to the table and talk." Sitting down, I was both nervous and embarrassed, unable to hear what he said. He patiently repeated, "Your actual bust size is D, it's just that your bust is diamond-shaped, so it looks bigger than other shapes. I don't think this size is a problem, can you tell me why you want surgery?" I lowered my head, because it's so outstanding, always attracting attention. He smiled, "You're so pretty, why are you afraid of other people looking at you?" I raised my head in surprise, "What?" He wasn't joking, his smile was sincere. He stood up, leaned over the table. His two slender fingers gently removed my glasses. His voice was gentle, "I think you're prettier without glasses." Everything before my eyes suddenly blurred, the doctor's handsome face seemed to be covered with a layer of mist. "I think I've seen him somewhere before," I muttered, "Eric Benedict?" He tilted his head, "Finally remember me?" His tone was as if we were old friends meeting again. My family does not have the gene for nearsightedness. I deliberately damaged my eyes. When I was in school, my mother always scolded me every time she looked at her. "Why are your eyes so wide open? Do you think big eyes are beautiful? Don't you know that looking like that is very stupid, only attracting street thugs?" I was afraid of her, didn't dare to argue. I only knew how to read books in the dark, right close to my face. Finally, I successfully turned myself into severe nearsightedness, wearing thick glasses. My mother chose for me the ugliest pair of black glasses with thick frames. She was pleased, "You look like a studious child." But she was very conflicted, every time I went on a date, she made me take off my glasses. So now I realized, Dr. Benedict was the person I mistook for a date yesterday. How could it be such a coincidence? He wouldn't think that I tried to get to know him on purpose yesterday but failed, and today I came here to harass him, right? Also, is he nearsighted? If not, why would he say I'm pretty? He picked up the large mirror on the table and placed it in front of me. "I have 10/10 vision, don't you ever look in the mirror?" "Huh?" I said what I thought again. I was so embarrassed today. I looked into the mirror unconsciously. My mother's voice echoed in my ears, thick eyebrows, big soulless eyes, small nose, thick lips, pale face, pointed chin, looking at you makes people know you have no fortune. I've heard these words for nearly 20 years. Every time I look in the mirror, I see that my mother was right. I'm really ugly. That's why when I was in school, I was teased by boys, and I failed on many dates. I lowered my head again. Dr. Benedict, it's my fault for bothering you twice, don't tease me anymore. Seeing that I didn't believe him, he raised his eyebrows. Then let's make a bet? I was stunned. What? Bet what? His thin lips moved, his eyes seductive. I was mesmerized, unconsciously nodding. Waking up, I wanted to crawl into the ground. He tapped his fingers on the table. We said, if you lose, you have to agree to one of my requests. If I lose, I will perform surgery for you for free. That afternoon, he took me to the SKP shopping mall. A place I had never dared to enter. He chose 2 dresses for me, one black and one white, both very beautiful. I tried them on. The waist of the dress was tight, making my chest stand out even more. The dress flared slightly, revealing my smooth white legs. I always wear long pants, so my legs are very white. Standing in front of the mirror, I didn't recognize myself. I whispered to him, the mirror here is really different, it automatically slims the body. He raised his hand to his forehead. It's just an ordinary mirror, trust my aesthetic taste, I'm a plastic surgeon. Both dresses you're wearing are beautiful, which one do you like? I was confused. I didn't dare say that I had trouble deciding. Usually when I buy things online, I always procrastinate until the last minute to choose. Or just pick one? But black is durable, white is special. Which one to choose? Seeing me silent, he immediately decided for me. Buy both, the shapes are different. He took out his phone to pay, I quickly stopped him. I'll pay myself. Looking at the price, 5 digits, 2 dresses ate up all my savings. A little heartbreaking. Or just buy one? While I was hesitating, he had already paid, picked up the bag containing the dresses, and called me to follow. It turned out that the cure for indecisiveness was all about money. I looked at the shiny mirror floor, thinking for a long time without understanding. What did Eric want from me? I was ordinary, poor, bland. Was it worth him spending so much money? Next, he took me to get my eyes checked and get contact lenses. Some high-quality material, also very expensive. The first time I wore them, I was clumsy. He gently touched my cheek and helped me put them on. The world before my eyes suddenly became clearer than ever. It was just that everything seemed a little bigger. I looked at his Adam's apple and swallowed. He looked at me with satisfaction. Your skin is beautiful, you don't need makeup, you're naturally very pretty. I blushed again, feeling a little excited. Maybe I also have some advantages? After a long time, we finally got to the main point. He and I stood in front of the VIP room door. He smiled comfortingly, there are only my friends inside, don't be nervous. He suddenly leaned down and whispered in my ear, if you lose, don't refuse my request. After saying that, he opened the door. I suddenly hoped I would lose. What would he ask for? Entering the room, the lights were dim. Everyone looked back at me. Being the center of attention for the first time in this situation, I was scared and grabbed my skirt. The atmosphere froze for a second, then exploded. Oh my God! Dr. Benedict brought a girl. And a pretty one too. Eric secretly counted, 1. Hey, where did you find such a pretty girl? How lucky. Eric smiled and counted, 2. Hello sister-in-law. Sister-in-law is so pretty. I quickly waved my hand, we are just friends. Eric curled his lips, 3. There were 8 people in the room. The bet was, if half of the people complimented me on my beauty, Eric would win. Not enough. He would lose. As I thought, he was nearsighted. The other 3 were just talking politely. I lowered my head in self-consciousness. I didn't see his face suddenly darken. A beautiful intellectual girl pulled me to sit next to her. I like sitting next to pretty girls. I'm Violet Agatha, what's your name? I'm Rosalind Blanche. Eric won. He happily picked a song. I can't forget the first time I met you, your passionate eyes, in my mind, your image, cannot fade. Doesn't he have any flaws? Why does he sing so well? He looked at me, his eyes full of affection. Was he looking at me? I sat huddled in the corner. His friends were very enthusiastic, even pulling me into their group chats or gatherings. Someone invited me to play dice. I shook my head. Sorry, I don't know how to play. Someone asked me what song I wanted to sing. I smiled awkwardly. Just listen to everyone sing, I'm not good at singing. In the end, the whole group joined in the lively atmosphere, only I retreated to a corner to play with my phone. Just like the previous gatherings. I kept swiping the screen back and forth, pretending to be very busy. Next to me, someone handed the microphone to Violet. The next song is an indispensable part of every gathering, a love duet between you and Eric. How many years have you and Eric been singing love songs? When will you break through that window? Violet smiled, looking like she was blaming him lovingly. No rush, Benedict and I know each other's hearts. Oh. It turns out Eric wasn't looking at me just now. When he sang that song, I thought he was singing to me. I was really delusional. No matter how you look at Violet, she's a girl 100 times better than me. I picked up the glass of wine on the table, tilted my head back and took a big gulp. The phone rang. It was my mother calling. If my mother knew I was at the KTV, I would be done for. Eric had just finished singing when Violet walked up to him with the microphone, preparing to sing a duet. I bowed my head and ran out of the room, answering the phone. Rosa. What time is it? You're not home yet. Aren't you going to work tomorrow? I mumbled, I'm coming home right now. You don't have a boyfriend, you're a girl and you're out until 10 o'clock. People will say I didn't teach you properly. I quickly hung up. Out the main door, I realized it was raining heavily. The ride-hailing app had more than 200 people lined up. I almost wanted to run straight into the rain when an arm grabbed me. Turning around, it was Eric, his face expressionless. Am I that bad at singing, scaring you away? I stammered, no, it's really good, it's because my mom called. Besides, weren't you preparing to sing a love song with Violet, so I didn't say goodbye to you? He raised his eyebrows slightly. Don't you want to hear me sing a love song with someone else? I lowered my head. No. What right do I have to not want to? A big hand gently stroked my head. Why are you always so shy? Well, if you don't like this kind of gathering, I'll take you home. The car was parked outside. He told me to wait, he would go get the car and pick me up. I was embarrassed, not wanting to let him work hard alone, so I ran after him. The rain was not only heavy but also windy. By the time I got to the car, I was soaked from head to toe. As soon as he sat in the driver's seat, he quickly searched for tissues. I couldn't take my eyes off the wet t-shirt that was stuck to his body. 1 abs, 2 abs. 2 sheets of white paper were brought in front of me. What are you counting? 6-pack abs. I blurted out, then immediately realized. He wasn't shy at all, and deliberately reached out his hand behind the seat. The wet t-shirt pressed against his body, revealing his firm 6 abs and 2 prominent pink spots. His body looked like it had come out of a comic book, plus his perfect face. I couldn't help but gulp and swallow my saliva. How embarrassing. The corner of his lips slightly lifted. Look first and then pay, it's fair, right? What? Before I could understand, he reached out to hold my chin and kissed me. At first, it was just lips touching lips, gently testing. I put my hand on his shoulder, intending to push him away, but somehow it ended up as an arm around his neck. As if encouraged, he used the tip of his tongue to separate my teeth, capturing every breath. The air in the car heated up noticeably. The sip of wine just now seemed to spread throughout my body, making my limbs go limp. His kiss became more and more passionate, as if he wanted to swallow me whole. I couldn't control myself, and softly moaned. I was about to suffocate, I didn't even know how to catch my breath. Finally, he mercifully left, but still did not leave my side. A low voice whispered in my ear, Rosalind, do you know how beautiful you are right now? His hot breath blew against my ear. His chest pressed tightly against mine, causing every inch of my skin to tremble. Eric. The message notification kept ringing. I didn't need to look to know, my mom had texted me again, and there was also a voice message. He pulled back slightly, glancing at the screen. Is it okay not to reply to your mom? I was both embarrassed and angry, gripping the phone tightly, pressing the power button. I've been obedient for more than 20 years, so what if I let loose once? The feeling just now was so great, I wanted to continue. If he asked me if I wanted him to take me home, what should I answer? Would saying no be too proactive? But I really wanted to kiss him again. I started struggling in my mind again. He chuckled softly, then pressed me down again. I closed my eyes, only feeling a slight chill on my chest. Huh? He bent down, gently pulled the seatbelt, and fastened it for me. Go to my house. It wasn't a question. He knows exactly what I want right now. A high-end apartment in the city center, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a wall full of wine. A place I could never afford in my entire life, Eric's house. I took off my shoes, walked barefoot onto the wooden floor, and was flustered. He carried me onto the sofa, took out the hairdryer, and dried me. His fingers slowly ran through my hair, not just drying it, but as if he was caressing and teasing me. Don't rush, wet hair will make you catch a cold. I stammered, I'm not in a hurry. He laughed again, really not in a hurry? That's right, the night is still long. As he spoke, he unzipped my skirt from behind. His cold fingers slid across my spine, causing my whole body to shiver as if I had been electrocuted. You also have to dry yourself, or you'll catch a cold. His voice was hoarse, carrying an unconcealable desire. I felt something was about to happen, both scared and expectant. Trying to appear calm, I asked, is this your winning request? His kisses fell thickly on my neck, then gradually slid down. No. So, if you don't like it, you can refuse. How could I refuse? I couldn't refuse, just hearing his voice made my whole body go limp. For the first time in my life, I stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window to watch the night view. It was really beautiful. It was just that my skin touching the glass was a bit cold. Behind me was a strong man, causing the entire starry sky outside to be shattered into pieces by him. My last memory was of Eric holding me like a koala, his hands supporting my thighs, and taking me step by step into the bathroom. I didn't know how long I had slept, but I gently lifted my legs. A dull pain at the base of my thighs woke me up. It was still not dawn. Eric was sleeping on his side, sleeping very soundly. Half of his face was buried in the soft pillow, long eyelashes, a high nose bridge, and slightly curved lips. His face was so touching. One of his hands was still on my chest. In my daze, his fingers were still gently squeezing, making my whole body stiffen. I carefully sat up, found my phone, and turned it on. As expected, more than 99 messages waiting. In addition to my mother, there was a group chat. Then I remembered, Eric's group of friends added me yesterday. I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb. Curiously, I opened the group to see. They must have sent it after the party. Where did Eric go? We were having a good time and he suddenly disappeared? He went to take that girl home, now he must be, he. Don't guess, after all these years, have you seen Eric's heart flutter for anyone? He rejected all the girls, saying he couldn't forget his first love from high school. Our Dr. Benedict is really pure, in the end, only Violet can catch him. Eric, Violet, we're waiting for your wedding invitation. Violet texted, everyone shut up, that shy girl is in the group too. I quietly left the group chat. The first love that even an outstanding person like Eric can't forget, what kind of person is she? Certainly not the type of person like me, shy, self-conscious, and indifferent. Eric and I, perhaps just a moment of impulsiveness. One-night stands, in this society, are not strange. Especially one-night stands with someone like him, I'm so lucky. Outside the window, the sun is gradually rising. It's morning, the dream should end. I neatly folded the 2 dresses he bought yesterday, put them on the sofa. Found my hoodie and baggy pants in the bag, put them on, and took a taxi home. As soon as I opened the door, I was scared to death by my mother. She sat at the door, her hair disheveled, her face scrunched up in anger. "Where have you been all night? Why didn't you answer the phone? You didn't come home all night, you're so good." I bowed my head, not wanting to argue. After a tiring night, I just wanted to sleep. I still had to go to work later. But my mother wouldn't let me go, her shrill voice resounding throughout the apartment. "Did you meet a bad man? Answer me, Rosalind." I couldn't hold it in any longer, and snapped back. "You're forcing me to get married and not letting me date anyone, what's wrong with you?" My mother's eyes widened. "What's wrong with me? I'm so mad at you. Do you know how to judge people? If you meet someone like your father, your life is over. I'm an example." Then she started crying. "You were so good when you were little, why are you so stubborn as you grow up? Mom has lived alone since the divorce for you. Mom did it all for you, do you understand? How could I hurt you?" That was the catchphrase again, "I did it for you." I have heard it countless times since I was little, perhaps last night gave me some courage. I replied, "You did it for me, but you always suppress me, make me feel inferior, make me feel like I don't deserve anything." Mom choked up, "You don't understand, women who are too strong will not have a good ending. Mom is an example. You just need to find a good man, that's enough." I laughed. "The good man you're talking about is that bald guy who talked nonsense about my breasts on that blind date?" My mother sighed, "Daughter, you can't keep those people who are too outstanding, you yourself are not worthy of them." Here we go again. I didn't reply, went straight into the room, and locked the door. The reality after the dream was terrible. I suddenly missed Eric. The phone vibrated, it was a text message from him. "Are you leaving?" I replied, "I'm home, I still have to go to work later. Nothing to say?" I thought for a moment. "It's okay, adults understand each other, we'll still be friends when we meet again, I won't go back on the bet. That was the kindest answer I could think of. The message was sent, and he immediately replied. He said, "I like you. I read somewhere, a sensitive, insecure person needs a lover who dares to play a direct attack. Now that person has appeared. But I am just scared. I really want to ask. If your first love comes back, will you abandon me? And Violet is so beautiful, do you really not have any feelings?" But I dare not ask. Afraid of being hated, of being annoyed. I always think too much, am sensitive, conflicted, always in a state of worry. How could someone like him like a girl like me? It must be just a temporary interest. My hands trembled as I typed each word of rejection. "I don't like you, Eric. We are not compatible. Then like a coward, I blocked him on WeChat. No matter how sad I was, the sun still rose and the cows and horses still had to go to work, a day that was both physically and mentally exhausting. I returned home after work, and unexpectedly saw an unwanted person sitting in the living room. It was that bald civil servant. My mother was chatting happily with him, and when she saw me, she waved her hand and called out, "Rosa, the young man came to visit me, hurry up and greet the guests. I'll go buy some groceries and cook for you too." Before I could react, my mother had already changed her shoes and gone out. I awkwardly poured him a glass of water, then sat on the chair next to him, pretending to scroll through my phone. Eric sent me several friend requests today, but I didn't accept them all. The bald man leaned over again. "Who are you talking to? I texted you but you didn't reply." I quietly moved away. "Oh, I'm busy today." I paused for a moment, then said bluntly, "Don't waste your time with me, I have no intention of getting married now. It's useless to try to please my mother." That guy smiled wryly. "Hey, it's fine to be friends first." As I spoke, I suddenly felt something was wrong behind me. He put his hands on the sofa right behind my butt, and gradually moved closer. I immediately jumped up. "Pervert." He immediately grabbed my wrist. I was about to scream when there was a knock on the door. He quickly let go. I almost ran to open the door, thinking to myself, thank goodness, my mother came back in time. But it wasn't my mother who opened it. It was Eric. He curled his lips, leaned closer and whispered, Rosalind, after sleeping with me, you ran away? Don't you plan to take responsibility? I lowered my head, not daring to look into his eyes. How did you know my home address? On the consultation form you filled out yesterday, there was your home address. As he spoke, he glanced inside and saw the bald guy sitting in the room. This guy is, your uncle? Huh? I almost burst out laughing. The bald guy immediately became angry. How do you see that? I'm her blind date, and who are you? Eric raised his eyebrows and smiled. I'm her boyfriend. The atmosphere in the room instantly froze. The bald guy knew he had no chance against Eric, so he immediately ran away in shame. When my mother came back, she flew into a rage as soon as she saw Eric. I don't agree to let you two date. Rosa, you're not worthy of a man like him, and you can't keep him. Wait until he gets tired of playing with you and then kick you, and then you'll be an old thing that no one wants. Mom has been dressing you badly since you were little, don't you understand? I was stunned, speechless. Because I knew that no matter what I said at this time, it would be useless, and I couldn't change my mother's mind. I gently pulled Eric's sleeve. You go home first, I've already added you as my friend, I'll text you later. He held my hand tightly, shaking his head slightly. You come with me. He took out his phone and pressed a few buttons. My phone rang with a ding sound. I opened it to see. My eyes were dizzy because the amount had too many zeros, it seemed like 7 digits. The note said, voluntarily donated. I shouted, Eric, quickly withdraw it. Why did you transfer so much money to me? Are you crazy? He looked at my mother and said seriously. Miss, I always believed that love and money should go together. I have transferred all my savings to Rosalind. From now on, only she will kick me, never the other way around. My mother stood there like a stone statue. I was also stunned. I had never seen such a large amount of money in my life. He pulled me out of the house. His car was parked right below the building. The driver's seat was reclining. I suddenly realized something. You've been waiting for me for a long time, right? He chuckled, it wasn't long. I came right after finishing a surgery this morning. You refused to make friends, so I had to use this stupid way to see you. No wonder he showed up not long after I got home. His face was a bit tired today, not as radiant as yesterday. But at that moment, my heart was pounding. I hugged him tightly, tears silently flowing. Eric, why are you so good to me? How could you? Like me? He gently stroked my hair, sighing softly. Because you're kind, brave, sincere, and beautiful. Also, why haven't you realized who I am yet? I'm your deskmate. When I was in 8th grade, one day I accidentally broke my newly cut glasses. At that time, my father remarried. The wedding invitation was even sent to my mother. The woman he married was very beautiful, with big eyes, a sharp chin, and a hot body. She was the one who caused my parents' divorce that year. When my mother received the wedding invitation, she immediately smashed the furniture in the house, crying and cursing me for no reason. I didn't dare say that I broke my glasses, so I used my pocket money to buy a pair of $9.90 non-prescription lenses to put on the old frames. I pretended to wear my glasses as usual, but in fact I couldn't see anything clearly. At that time, there was a transfer student in my class. He was very tall, even though my eyes were blurry, I could still see his extremely handsome face. He was seated next to me. Actually, I can't remember his name anymore. I was like that. After graduating from middle school, I forgot my middle school friends. After graduating from high school, I forgot my high school friends. After working for a few years, my college friends gradually faded away. But I clearly remember, every time school ended, he was always surrounded by a group of beautiful girls. It made me feel even more pathetic, big shoulders, messy hair. Every time those girls left, he would tisk and frown, saying, "So annoying." Then he smiled at me, "You're still the best, my deskmate." I always tried to act cold and turned away, actually to hide my blushing face and pounding heart. Because I couldn't see the board clearly, my notebook was always messy. He would often give me his handwritten notebook, his handwriting neat. "I'll let you copy, but don't give it to anyone else." I nodded, thinking to myself, I never want to share with anyone but you. Once after school, I passed by a small alley and accidentally heard his voice. I hurriedly ran over and saw several tall high school students surrounding him. "Hey, my sister wants to be your girlfriend, why don't you agree? If you don't give me a clear reason today, I'll break your arm." He didn't say anything. I was so scared that my legs went weak, but I still rushed forward and hugged his arm tightly. "This is my boyfriend. Why does he have to date your sister?" "I don't agree." My body pressed against his arm, glaring at those guys, looking like if anyone dared to touch my boyfriend, I would bite them to death. Those guys didn't seem to hit girls, they made a few threats and left. I hit puberty early, and when I realized how out of control my actions were, it was too late. The sunset shone on his face, just like a ripe red apple. I quickly let go of his hand and moved away. But I didn't hear his last words, "Thank you, my girlfriend." So, Eric Benedict is that transfer student. I buried my head in his chest and asked softly, "So, the person you've always missed, your first love, is me?" His big hand gently caressed my back, whispering yes. I teased him, I didn't expect that Dr. Benedict would be the type to pursue pure love. His warm hand gradually slid down, making me a little confused. I quickly turned around to avoid it and changed the subject. "Then why didn't you come to class the next day?" "I thought you were afraid that I would cling to you, so you ran away." That night, I couldn't sleep. I imagined what he would say when we met again the next day. Would he smile and call me his deskmate? Or would he tisk and say, "What a bother"? But unexpectedly, he didn't come the next day. And never came back. I felt hopeless. Sure enough, I should have been content to be the invisible girl in class. He must have hated me. The insecurity that had been simmering day by day made me gradually forget everything that had happened. Eric explained, that day, my mother suddenly sent me abroad. I stayed there until I graduated and then came back. I acted spoiled, rubbing against his chest. "Then it's your fault, you can't blame me for not remembering." The top of my head was quiet. I was a little panicked. Was he angry? It took all my courage to act spoiled like that. I raised my head, meeting his deep black eyes, they were filled with desire. His voice was hoarse. "Yes, it was my fault." "Then, punish me from now on, 3 times a day, 1 hour each time. Do you think this punishment is okay?" I was about to speak when he flipped me over, face down on the pillow. All my protests were blocked. "Rosa, I will make up for all the years I missed. Rosa, I love you. People destined to meet will meet again. People who make your heart flutter, will also flutter again. Eric Benedict, I love you too." The end.